Hey, Soul Leveling fans, this is Chris Bolts, and I'm coming in with the video. Now, you guys have already been made mention and notice of this, that there's going to be a crossover between Solo Leveling Arise and Frieren Beyond Journey's End. Now, for many of us, that is really good news. When it came to the first collab event with the idols, we were kind of lukewarm to the reception of that particular collaboration, precisely because it involved having real life individuals being brought into the game. And for the most part, most of us don't know K-pop. It might have been great over there in South Korea, and I don't even think it was well received that much over in South Korea either. But we really wanted to have collaborations that involved having animated characters. And lo and behold, Netmarble has decided to go ahead and grace us with the first anime collab event. It's going to be Frieren Beyond Journey's End, and this is the character Frieren. And don't know what exactly her element is going to be. I suspect that it might be fire, but she is someone that is a very powerful mage in her own anime. So it could be possible that it might be another element, but I think Netmarble has already indicated that the next meta is probably going to be focusing on fire and dark. And we already got a dark element with Sunghail 1. So I highly doubt that we're going to get another dark element. So she might be a fire-based hunter. But we'll have to wait and get more information. Now, she is going to be dropping on October 23rd. That is one of the downsides here. We just had finished the Idol Collab event a couple of weeks ago. Went right into Sunghail 1, and now here we are again going right into another collab event with another animated character. Now has not been that received that well. I was looking at Painblade's video on this, and I was reading some of his comments, the comments to his video, and many people were excited, but they didn't have enough essence stones to be able to summon when she becomes available, and others were just kind of turned off to the idea, calling it a bad decision to have a back-to-back collab event of this nature. Me personally, I was hoping that they would actually do this in the beginning of the new year, as opposed to so close right now. But what is done has been done. We're going to be getting Frieren on October 23rd. As far as is she going to be available after the collab event is one of the big questions that I have, because Netmarble has already said that the idol hunters are no longer going to be available. What was available during that collab event is it, and that is that. And that's probably due to contractual agreements and whatnot. Don't know if that's going to be the same case here with Frieren. A lot of times in other games where I did play, where they had collabs, they generally were not made available again. Like, I played Hero Wars, and they had Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles off in there, and also Lara Croft from Tomb Raider. I have both of those, but I was not able to get any more for them after the fact. And I also played Puzzles and Survival. They had G.I. Joe and Transformers appear in that game. Those were also timed exclusives. So I'm pretty sure it's probably going to be the same case here with Frieren, but we'll have to just wait and see and everything like that. But the real purpose of this video is not so much to talk about the collab event in and of itself, but to go ahead and bring some awareness to the character of Frieren, because a lot of people who play Soul Leveling may not be familiar with this character. I know that Painblade said he wasn't too familiar with Frieren. So I wanted to go ahead and just make a really quick video on that and talk about Frieren and her history and whatnot. Now, before I do get into the content, do make sure you like, share, subscribe, turn on those post notifications and all that stuff. That really helps me out. Now, Frieren Beyond Journey's End is primarily focused around the main character, Frieren. This is her right here. Frieren is an elf, and generally when it comes to fantasy and lore, elves have been known to live for a very long time. We can go back as far back as J.R.R. Tolkien's Lord of the Rings series. Elves can live for thousands of years, and that's the case here with Frieren. It has her age. She's been around for more than 1,000 years. She is a character that can live for a very long time And obviously the downside to living for a very long time is that people that you form relationships with, if they don't live as long as you, they're going to end up dying off and leaving you by yourself. And that's pretty much the entire synopsis of Frieren Beyond's Journey's End. Is how would a person who can live for so many years react and form relationships with people that she knows is going to be temporary and not lasting? In the beginning, she toured around with and I use the word tour kind of loosely, because she actually was with these characters. This is her first team right here that she was with. She was with Himmel, who was the hero, Hyder, who was a priest, and Ison, who is a dwarf. And the dwarf is still alive. The dwarf can live for a very long time as well. I think he's over 100 years old compared to Frieren, who's over 1,000 years old. She originally toured with with this group of men to take on the Demon King, who they did defeat. And then once they defeated the Demon King, they had gone ahead and still stayed together and did other things around the country where they reside, until I think the first one who died and passed away was Himmel. Himmel was the first who passed away, followed by Hyder. And like I said, Ison is still alive to this day. Frieren had formed a really close relationship with Himmel. I don't know if they really say that there was any kind of love relationship between the two characters, but she was very close to all the characters. Over time, once he passed away, it kind of really affected her. She didn't really let it show that it affected her, because she does not really wear her emotions on her sleeve. She keeps those types of emotions private and bottled within. And that leads us to the current time, when she actually teams up with two young adventurers, Fern here, who is about 17 years old, and Stark, who's about the same age. I think Stark is probably about 20 years old, maybe. Both of these are young characters, and she gets with them and she goes on additional adventures. Now, Frieren herself, she is a very powerful mage. She has had the benefit of time to be able to accumulate a high level of mana, to be able to do a high level of spells without having to do any type of incantation or drawing any circles or anything like that. I think one of the biggest things that really showed how powerful individual she was in one of the episodes of Frieren. First season it didn't really grab me as much as I thought it would, but I stuck with it. The second core of the first season is where it really takes off, and I'll talk about that more in here in just a minute. There was an episode where we got an idea about how powerful she is as an individual, and let me go ahead and see if I could find that episode. Okay, so you see the scene right here. She's standing against this particular demon right here, Aura, and she's weighing her magic. And this demon Aura, she can take control of other individuals based on the level of mana. If her level of mana is greater than her opponent's mana, she will instantly wipe them out. That's how powerful she is. But what Aura doesn't know is that Frieren is really good at disguising the level of mana that she has. And you see this right here, you see it in the eye of Aura, this mana aura that's around Frieren, and she thinks she has her beat. But it's going to reveal, let me just go ahead and fast forward just a little bit here. What it's going to reveal here is that Frieren's mana aura is actually quite vast, as you can see what she's getting ready to do right here. And you see the surprised look on Aura. She has hidden all of her mana and it has just engulfed Aura. That is the level of power that Frieren really has. And you saw the line that she said right there, that she had the gift of time of 1,000 years to be able to accumulate mana and also to be able to suppress it. So Frieren is a very powerful character and really has access to all kinds of different types of spells. So this is the first character that we're going to be getting in Solo Leveling Arise. Now, will she be that powerful in the game? I highly doubt it, because the one thing that we as players of the game worry about are metas that are going to come in and quickly replace the old meta Right now, the meta is dark. Anyone who's really invested into either the character of Minnie or Sung Hyo Won are going to be very disappointed if this Fire Mage comes along and is suddenly more powerful than what we just put off in there. But like I said before, as close as this collab unit is to the idol units, going in here and trying to summon for Frieren is going to be a very hard case. Some people are going to be forced to spend money that they really don't want to do. Others are not going to have the essence stones to be able to summon for them. Right now, my essence stones, I have a pretty good amount of about 34,000 essence stones. So I could summon for her, but I'm not going to summon for her because I want to go ahead and revitalize all my resources to be able to get the newer champs or newer hunters rather that's going to be coming out in the next year. So I'm probably going to be skipping on Frieren, but she is a really cool character overall. And it's kind of interesting that both of these characters are going to be doing a collab because one of the big contentious issues that happened around the Crunchyroll Awards was who was going to win Game of the Year. Now, we all know that Solo Leveling won Game of the Year, but a lot of people who are not Solo Leveling fans and who are Solo Leveling fans but are also Frieren fans all thought that Frieren should have won Game of the, or not Game of the Year, but Anime of the Year. Me personally, I think it was right that Solo Leveling won because Solo Leveling reach is far greater than Frieren's. The Frieren is a popular series, but it's not as popular as Solo Leveling. Now, I know in Japan it's probably a little less popular, but I think it was still right for Crunchyroll to go ahead and award that to Solo Leveling as opposed to Frieren, in my personal view. One last thing before I go ahead and cut out here, let me just go back to the beginning of this. Now, if you guys are interested in watching the Frieren anime, I will tell you that the Frieren anime covers the Beyond Journey's End arc, the Aura the Guillotine arc, the Travels to Alberst arc, and the First Class Mage Exam arc. So the first core, which is a total of 28 episodes, I want to say. Yes, 28 episodes. It's going to be covering all of these arcs right there, and all of these characters are excellent. Now, as I said, the first core of the first season, I was like, it seems fine. I hung on after with it. But the First Class Mage Exam arc, where she really demonstrated her power and prowess, that was when it really hooked me in. So I'm really excited for the second season that's going to be coming out. And the second season is going to be coming out in January 16th, 2026. Now, for some of you manga fans, I've made a mention of this before, but it looks like there's going to be a hiatus of the manga for a while there. And it's precisely because of the creator's poor health. Now, I made mention of the fact that when it comes to the mangakas, having good health is a very important issue, because if they continuously have poor health or they die before the series ends, then fans of the manga and of the anime are going to be shortchanged. And we really do want the creator, who is Kanehito Yamada, to be well, but gotta understand, especially when it comes to these long mangas, that the sooner you get it over with, the better. But those are my thoughts on the issue. What are your guys' thoughts on Frieren coming to Solo Leveling Arise? And what are your thoughts on Frieren Beyond Journey's End, the manga or the anime? What are your thoughts on Solo Leveling? Whatever the case, jump down in the comments and let me know what you think. And make sure you do like, share, subscribe, turn on those post notifications. All that stuff really does help me out. And remember, this is Chris Boats signing off, and I will catch you guys in the next video. You take it easy.